What you are about to hear in this video is going to provoke you really hard, and I think that this should give you every reason why you should take cover and prepare yourself. My friends, 4 years is not a long time. You might think that 4 years is plentiful time for you, but it's not. That time will pass away quickly. Do you notice that it feels like it was just yesterday that COVID happened? Do you remember the lockdowns? Do you remember the time of the pandemic? What time did it happen? When did it happen? Did it not happen just near the end of the Trump presidency the first time? During that time, Trump introduced Operation Warp Speed. mRNA vaccines were rapidly produced. And then you had the COVID vaccination mandates, the lockdown mandates. Do you remember all of that? Don't allow all of that to just pass away from you. Don't blink. What you're about to hear is very important, and I sincerely hope that you do not keep this to yourself. If you keep this to yourself, God will hold you accountable. What you are going to hear in this video is a warning, not just for you, but now you bear the responsibility of warning other people. Your best, take this information, share this with others. You don't even have to go and talk to people about it. Simply share this video with them. Also, cover yourself. Give this video a thumbs up because it is another way of also sharing the information. By giving the video a thumbs up, this video can then be recommended to other people. You do have the obligation to share the truth with people. That being said, brace yourselves. Let's begin.
Joining me now, White House chief strategist at one time of the first Trump administration, host of Bannon's War Room, Mr. Steve Bannon. Thank you for taking the opportunity.
Chris, thanks for having me on News Nation, and I appreciate you.
Right, post-Trump, you are second on the list after the VP as people getting the nod at CPAC to be president. A lot of people were surprised by this. My first question, you have anything to do with putting your name in that list because you have presidential ambitions?
No. And President Trump, I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century if we're lucky. We've got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy. You know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term limit is after the election. I realize you don't believe the election in 2020 is stolen. We do. We fervently believe that. When President Trump went back to Mar-a-Lago on January 20th, 2021, he was the.
Do you remember the first time that Trump came into office? One of the things that he promised to do was to, and I quote, drain the swamp of Washington, D.C. The swamp that is called the shadow government or the deep state. And let's be honest, did he drain the swamp the first time? No. He did also make a statement in his first term where he said this is the calm before the storm. Many of you remember that. So when Trump mentioned the calm before the storm, I do believe that his first term was to cause a disturbance, but it was ultimately still the calm before the storm. Do you notice, friends, that the Democrats need the Republicans and the Republicans need the Democrats? This two-party system, singular, is a system that has established two parties that lean on each other. If you have one party alone, that one party, singular, can be overthrown. But if you have the two parties, then they can lean on each other. Give the people what they want by making the other side look bad. And after 4 years, make that one now look bad and then make the other one look good. And the people are constantly being controlled like that. They will never rebel so long as you give them a reason. And if you notice, friends, these elected officials have gone out of their way to actually destroy the integrity of the Constitution and to destroy the lives of the people whom they vowed to serve and to protect. I'm going to make a bold statement now, and it pertains to the Constitution. The Constitution is written on paper. What this signifies is that it is not going to last forever. Things written on paper are temporary, while things written in stone are permanent and cannot be undone. You should know that the Constitution is capable of being suspended. On that ground alone, you should know that if a Constitution can be suspended, then the possibility exists where the Constitution can be permanently erased. Now, I don't want to hold you up for too long, so I want you to think about this, okay? Donald Trump has taken office at a critical point in Earth's history and at a critical point of America's history. Think about it. The first time that Trump came, it was his presidency which faced the challenges of the 100th anniversary of the Spanish flu of 1918. But only this time it was COVID-19. What does this have to do with Trump possibly going through a third term? My friends, pay attention to this and don't lose sight of it. We know that history repeats itself. The next great event that happened after the Spanish flu of 1918 all the way to 1920, the main aim of the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act was to boost domestic industries and to bring back jobs and companies to produce here in America. And instead of doing just that, bang, the economy plummets and plummets and plummets. I personally believe that the trade wars which we are seeing today started by Trump. This is the exact same thing that happened in the 1920s. It was also initiated by America. And then other nations began to retaliate by implementing their own tariffs against the United States of America. Ultimately, this led to the Great Depression. Black Tuesday, remember that event? I'm not getting into too much detail of this because I'm actually writing a book about this, that you may know these things in details. My friends, we are actually walking and taking the exact same steps that we did 100 years ago. Imagine. Here's something else I'm going to throw at you right now. Remember that Trump wants to, and I quote, make America great again, MAGA. Okay? So Trump wants to make America great again. Well, we need to ask the question, when did America receive the title of being the leading superpower? Well, the answer, according to world history, is after World War II. But World War II was preceded by the Great Depression. And the Great Depression was preceded by the Tariff Wars. So if we were to look at the parallels, what happened 100 years ago are as follows. Number one, the Spanish flu. COVID-19 from 1918 to 1920. And there were lockdowns during that time also. After that event, then you have the tariff wars, trade wars that came in the 1920s, which paved way to the Great Depression, which began from the late 1920s. From 1929, 1930s, bam, the Great Depression happened. Markets tanked. Following this event would then be the rise of Adolf Hitler, and then World War II would begin. Now, I want you to think about this. Are we walking in the exact same steps as the world did back 100 years ago? Let's look at the following. COVID-19 happened in late 2019, which is 100 years to the anniversary of the Great Spanish Flu. My friends, where are we now? I do believe that Trump's first term in office was a calm before the storm. And now what we are seeing, friends, is that this is the continuation of the saga. You understand, friends? This is the continuation of the first season. This is season 2. What's the difference now? Well, I do believe that the storm was already brewing and the storm had already started. The storm already began during the Biden administration, and now it is being carried forth and being executed even further by Trump. We all know that Trump is big on tariffs, and this is something that he is flexing against the other nations. But this thing is going to end up biting America back in a very bad way. However, I do believe that it is intentional, and Trump is doing this on purpose to destroy the current market system. This current economy is not going to sustain the future of where the world is going. Everything is going digitalized, correct? So which means that the current fiat system must be converted altogether to a much more digitalized system. The economies of the world are no longer relying upon the fiat, but rather they are now seeking to convert to cryptocurrencies, digital assets. This is where the world is going. Technology is moving in the direction of AI, artificial intelligence. My friends, you are going to witness more jobs being taken away from you, from people, and be handed over to AI. A lot of people need to understand that where things are today, we are at the commencement of a great tribulation. The dollar must be collapsed. The dollar must collapse. And the collapse of the dollar will actually signify that a huge event is around the corner. When the dollar is falling, you're going to see that the nations are going to become more and more agitated, and America is going to be itching for war. America right now is itching for taking over Greenland. This is strictly economic strategy because the current economy of America is failing. So they need Greenland, and Trump is now threatening to annex Canada. Possibly you might even hear him say he wants to take over Mexico and combine all these countries together as one under the leadership of America. And they're saying that Greenland is important for America for security reasons. One thing that I do believe is that Trump is a militaristic president, which means Trump is not afraid to flex America's arms. He's not afraid to flex America's military power, and he will execute and exercise the power of America, whether it be economically through trade wars or militaristically. Now, this is the key. I do believe that there is a plan and there is an agenda for Trump to maintain a third term. You see, this happened with FDR, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was in the office of presidency 4 consecutive terms, but then he died shortly after he was elected for the 4th time. He led America through the Great Depression of the 1930s, and then he led America through the Second World War, and then he was elected again. This was all during the time of a crisis, but he died shortly after that. Friends, I do believe that because we are now coming to the 100th anniversary of the Great Depression, I do believe that what we are seeing is the exact same patterns where Trump very well is going to be the one to lead America through a very difficult time of a great stupendous crisis. And it's going to involve war and famine and pestilence. I do believe that one way or another, America is going to go through this challenge, whether it be with Trump or whether it be with any other president. That challenge is going to be there one way or another. It's inevitable. So what I'm saying, friends, I do believe that Trump is going to be in office come 2028. I do believe Trump is going to be in office come 2032. You catch what I'm saying? But I will be honest with all of you. There's a feeling that I have, there's an eerie feeling that I have about 2028. Something tells me that 2028, there may not necessarily be election. Whoever is president leading up to that year is going to remain president. Why I say this is because of the following. Trump has made some moves in that he wants America to be the leading nation of artificial intelligence technology. But there are other nations like China, even Russia, the BRICS nations. they also are seeking to break away from the USD. Now, in this case, when it comes to who is going to be the first to spearhead and to be in charge of the largest AI database system in the whole world, this actually is strictly economic and militaristic move. And whoever is the one that is going to spearhead in this region, they will be the ones in charge of and spearheading the new economic digitalized world order. In other words, the new world economic order that has to do with cashless systems and everything going with digital assets and digital currencies and cryptocurrencies. All of that is something that is integrating AI technology. This is where the world is going. My friends, this reminds me of Skynet from the movie Terminator. It's not going to end well. This is fallen angel technology. America will fall. Now, when Trump launched Project Stargate, what we should actually understand, friends, is that there was something that was mentioned there, and that is that they were going to, quote unquote, cure diseases and cure cancer and all kinds of things. And how did they propose it? They were proposing using mRNA technology and making more mRNA vaccines. This is all to be integrated with artificial intelligence technology. AI technology is now being integrated with vaccines so that these are going to be the things that are now going to be inside you. My friends, nanotechnology is real. Nanotechnology is real. Once again, nanotechnology is real. Today, it will sound far-fetched and it will sound laughable. Tomorrow, you are going to regret and you're going to say, what was I thinking? Do not lay your trust in men. Do not lay your trust in Trump. Lay your trust in the Son of God, Yeshua, the Lord Jesus Christ.
This really amplifies our brain, but I have to put it down and I don't have it handy. I can't use it.
Yeah, but Ray, I'm not giving you a scalpel to go into my brain and put electrodes if I have just as good access to the cloud by holding a smartphone and touching it with my thumbs.
But you don't have to actually go in with a scalpel. I mean, we'll send nanobots through the bloodstream.
Oh, I feel much better about that now.
20 years ago, when people thought that was crazy, and now everybody has this.
Everybody's got it.
So I just gave a speech and 500 people there, and I said, who does not have their smartphone handy? And nobody raised their hand. Like, right. Everybody has this. It's much better to actually have it in your brain. You have it instantly.
So you'd be carrying Wi-Fi antennas inside your head somehow.
Right. I mean, we'll make that more reliable than it is now.
Okay. Now, what I'm about to share with you is literally going to change your entire perspective of how you view things. And this is going to become much more evident the more that we go deeper into this. So thus far, what I've shared with you, we've scratched the surface. Now, I'm going to take you into something that's a little bit controversial. And these are rather sensitive matters. And I'm not going to mention it right now, but I want you to stay tuned and keep an eye out for part 2. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe now and turn on your bell notification icons. Furthermore, share this video with as many people as you can. Also, go to my backup channel, which is called Controversy 7 Ministry. The link is in the video description box and also pinned at the comment section. At the same time also, friends, I ask of you to please lift me up in your prayers and my family, because I have been under so much discouragement just because I want to come and make videos here on YouTube, but my studio, after it received all the damage, it's really difficult for me to just have motivation to even make videos. The truth about it, I don't have a place that I can actually record, especially when it snows and it gets cold. I don't have a place that I can use to record videos. So please help me to be able to make this happen. If you do want to support this ministry, I do have the GoFundMe for this project I'm trying to do. It can all be found in the video description box. Alright, so other than that, I'm not going to hold you up. Thank you for tuning in and for joining me. Be blessed, be safe. I will see you in the next video.